What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Morning Spill. Happy to have you guys. Coach Jay here. Just want to touch on what you guys should be expecting coming next week, looking at the Morning Spill and what it's all about. Pretty much, my journey has been from rock bottom and self-realization and figuring out my issues and difficulties with mental health through trials and tribulations of life. Everybody has an experience. Everybody has different adversities thrown their way. And it's just sometimes refreshing to hear that, like, you don't have to be perfect to be successful. It's okay to mess up. It's okay to go through some experiences that most other people don't have or dealt with. And just stay positive. Have a good team that supports you. And just my experience with not being perfect, but yet here I am trying to find success. Another cool thing about the morning spill is it's not necessarily a success story. It's a to be continued story per se. Almost. We're gonna have fun with it. We are just in the beginning, just in the first stages of what can we do here in this area. What can we do with the culture we're building? What can we do with the 3-key tree? Quick little story, kind of just shows that how difficult this is going to be for me, kind of being an alpha male. I'm going to be very vulnerable. I'm going to be very honest. I'm going to tell my story the way it happened, and pretty much for me, rock bottom, hitting rock bottom, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with this life of mine, growing up in Potomac, Maryland, but having family from Scranton, Pennsylvania area. I have a small town family, small-minded family, but I grew up amongst the top tier percent of people where success is bred, and everybody's successful and everybody's competitive and everybody is kind of almost a visionary. And then I spent some time here in Northeast Pennsylvania when I was little, growing up in the summers and with my family, and everybody is like, well, you need to get a job and you need to work a 9 to 5 and you need to provide for your family, which is all true, but there's different ways to go about it. And one thing that I always found I was able to connect with is do what you love. Do what you love, and you'll find a way to be successful. If you're doing what you love, that is success. So for me, for rock bottom, for me, it was an eye-opening moment, right? It was probably 2018. Wasn't coaching at the time. I was working for a home improvement company, and doing like roof sales, like selling roofs. And I sold this roof, or I really didn't want to sell this roof, but my boss was kind of like, trying to make us execute the sale, and obviously for the betterment of the business. And that's kind of my job as the employee. So I totally understand it. But I just related too much to the single mother that I was selling a roof to that was definitely a little bit out of her price range, and you could tell that she wanted to provide for her family and wanted to give the best product, but it just asking for that amount of money just made her very, very uncomfortable. But pushing forward, we went through with the deal, and then later I got a call back from her, her crying and pretty much being like, "Look, I made a mistake. I couldn't take care of my financials the way I thought, and I just can't afford this roof." So I canceled the contract. I told my boss at the time, and he was like, "Well, go get it back. What happened?" And it was kind of like, I didn't. That's just sales, and that's kind of just like me being like, is this really what I want to do for the rest of my life? And there's plenty of successful businessmen and salesmen, and that's totally fine, and that's a whole world and a whole thing in itself. But for me, I took a step back in that moment, and I was like, who am I really? Like, what did I just, like, what am I doing with my life? Is this who I want to be? Do I want to be that salesman that's, killing it for his business, but not necessarily looking out for the best interest of the everyday human, not necessarily the client, because the company I work for is a 5-star company and uses all the right mechanics and right training and right safety and right procedures and all that good stuff. So it's a great company. So it's not necessarily like I'm giving her a bad product, but I'm just putting people in an uncomfortable situation. And I'm kind of like a person that like helps people in an uncomfortable situation feel comfortable, instead of like in an uncomfortable situation feel more uncomfortable, if that makes sense. So I was like, lost. Like, what am I doing? I'm not coaching. I love coaching. What am I doing? Who am I? Looking at myself, I'm like, am I really that guy? And then thinking about it, it's like, damn, I kind of freaking am that guy. Loud and obnoxious, like just all that guy features, like just like not necessarily financially responsible, not taking my education seriously, not managing my time the right way, and it was just like burning bridges, acting maybe different around different people, and it was just like, man, am I just one walking toxic? Like, what am I doing? So I was lost, man. 2018 was a very, very hard year. Not coaching, having kind of that self-reflection and self-conversation where it was like, damn, like, who am I? You are that kind of douchey, like, arrogant, like, cocky, like, I didn't have many friends. The friends that I had, most of them probably used me. And all my real friends, I burned bridges with, and really didn't have the same relationship anymore. So it was kind of like, it was just a really, really hard pill for me to swallow. And I feel like that's where a lot of people are at. So it's just like, how did I go from that point to fast forward now? Here we are, June 2021, where I have a whole different outlook on life, a whole different vibe, a whole different work ethic, a whole different way of carrying myself, trying to build a culture and build off of my philosophies that I spent years now since that self-conversation. We decided to flip a switch, get back into coaching, and make it work, because that is what I loved. So we figured it out. We found a way to make it work. We were lucky enough to get an opportunity at Holy Redeemer High School in Wilkes-Barre. Came up here, moved up here with no car, no money, literally filled a U-Haul, was half full with barely any furniture, and moved up to Scranton. And now that was October of 2018. And here we are now. We have a successful program, the NEPA Rattlers, with over 200 families, both a boys and girls program. Our first graduating class of 2021 was our first graduating class. We now have close to 20 college commits from our first graduating class. We have excellent college girls coaches on staff, college men's coaches, on staff, as well as college men's players. Coach Dixon does a phenomenal job with the Scranton program. Blessed and lucky enough to work full-time at a college prep boarding school, where that has just opened a whole new world of like ideas and capabilities and access to another level of people that are like, hey, they really want to be go-getters and they really want the best out of this life. So it kind of, everything plays into it. So what you can expect is some life lessons, some things that worked for me, some things that didn't work for me, how I dealt with all the no's, how I dealt with all the adversity. And the main thing is finding success, unique to you, that makes you happy, is real success. And, coming to Scranton and building a lacrosse program is unique to me, but is making me happy, and it is my success. So join us Monday, get the details. We'll have some fun. We'll share some laughs. You'll hear some stories. I'll share some experiences. We'll start bringing on guests, some other motivational life lessons and experiences that can be shared, and just prove that, hey, positive change is possible. You can mess up, reflect, understand that you got to do better, and move forward with your life. So that's what we're doing. That's what we want to share. And everybody, come on with us. We got you. We'll support you. It's okay. Let's make it right. Let's live our best life, and let's go, baby. Peace and love. Catch you guys on Monday.